The Washington Post is reporting that while Rudy Giuliani was pursuing his Ukraine campaign, he stayed with a wealthy Venezuelan energy executive linked to an investigation into possible money laundering and bribery in the U.S. A month later, Giuliani met with DOJ officials on the Venezuelan executive's behalf to argue his client should not face criminal charges. According to reports from NBC News, ABC News, and The Post, Giuliani has either done consulting work, delivered speeches, or represented foreign clients or governments in at least 19 overseas countries. Here to talk about all of it, Mimi Rocca, former assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, now a distinguished fellow in criminal justice at the Pace University School of Law. In most law firms, they're called rainmakers. And people from Mueller to Mondale to Bob Dole, it's not uncommon to have a prominent big name on the letterhead, as no one needs to remind you. What happens when rainmakers make their rain overseas, and in some cases it splashes back against the home team?
Well, look, I mean, Giuliani is in this very precarious position for a lot of reasons. And what we're talking about here is this blurring of lines between being a lawyer, being a consultant, and supposedly being the personal lawyer for the president. So he's trying to purportedly, represent the president in criminal matters, though I still really question that whole premise that that's what he's doing. He's more like a spokesman, fixer for the president. And he's purportedly representing people in criminal cases, like before the Department of Justice. And he's out trying to gin up business for possibly some business endeavor he's doing with Mr. Parnas and Fruman, who were recently indicted. I think Fiona Hill actually even made a connection in her testimony about the possibility of Parnas and Fruman having some involvement in Venezuela, and that there was some connection there. So, is it just a coincidence that Giuliani was meeting with people with respect to Venezuela and with respect to Ukraine in the same place, or was that something more nefarious, more connected? We don't know right now. But that's one of the things, obviously, the Southern District would be looking into. And when you see a subpoena with 8 different crimes listed on it, that's very telling.
Hearing the president say to Bill O'Reilly to the effect of, "You'll have to ask Rudy," sent a lot of people back to the president in the doorway on Air Force One. "You'll have to ask Michael Cohen." What is the peril for Rudy when the president says something like that?
Look, Rudy Giuliani, as far as I can tell, is up to his eyeballs in crime. I mean, there is, again, we don't like to try and make predictions, but I would be surprised at this point if Rudy Giuliani didn't get indicted. Like I said, that subpoena with, 8 crimes on it seems very specific, very far along to me. And just the reporting that we're hearing, there's a lot of smoke there. If Trump is going to try to now put this whole Ukraine matter on him, Giuliani seems to be going along with that so far. Oh, yes, the president's right. I didn't physically go to Ukraine to dig up dirt on Joe Biden. That was given to me by the oligarchs. He can go along with that for a while, but at some point that means that Giuliani is essentially being implicated in a bribery conspiracy by the president of the United States, because if he wasn't acting on behalf of Trump, and Trump is saying, oh, no, if he went there to get dirt on the Bidens,
because he hates corruption,
and told them that they can't have their aid, that was all him, then he has just implicated Giuliani in that amongst everything else that Giuliani may already be implicated in. And so this is, he really should start paying attention and speak up now, not wait to be indicted.
This is why we invited you on tonight. Will you and your family please have a happy Thanksgiving?
Thank you. You too.
Mimi Rocca, our thanks as always. Coming up, exclusive analysis of how the media arm of the Russian government